Worms are British, because although people are working on this worm in labs, research groups all over the world, they all come from one strain that was originally isolated in a mushroom compost heap in Bristol in 1956. So when thousands of worm workers from all over the world converge on Los Angeles every 2 years for the International Worm Meeting, I'm working with British worms! But when I say that worms are just like us, what do I mean? Well, the thing is that they have all the features, all the essential features of an animal. I mean, they don't have some of those peripheral things like eyes and legs, but they have things that really matter, like a gut and a nervous system. In fact, they have 302 neurons. We know this because someone's actually counted every single one of them. Now that might not seem like a lot, but there's actually, and this has also been done very, very carefully, someone has found out that there's 57,000 interconnections between those neurons. Hopefully, some of you are making those connections now while you're listening to this. So some, maybe those over by the bar may be losing a few at the same time. But I know what you're thinking about, sex. So, for worms it's a little bit different, you see. So, there's males and there's hermaphrodites. You see. So it can make it quite tricky for the males because the hermaphrodites can have sex with themselves internally. So anyway, so what happens is, I'm going to get into a bit of biology here. So what happens is, the hermaphrodite during its adolescence, it stores up its own sperm. Okay? Then, when it becomes an adult, at the age of 3 days that is, 3 days, the female oocytes travel down the germline, they get to the spermatheca, where they get fertilized by that stored up sperm. And then it turns into an egg, which then travels along through the vulva and then gets laid. Like being a worm. So, but it's very difficult. It can be tricky for the males. Now, the funny thing is, because they're competing with these hermaphrodites, now the funny thing is that strains that have been isolated from Hawaii or California seem to do really well. The males do brilliantly. But it might not be all down to the males. It might not just be because those males are a little bit more vigorous, maybe, than the British male. The reason is that maybe in those strains, the worms all sort of like to coalesce together, you see. It makes it quite easy for the males to find a mate. For the British male, it's a bit harder. For some reason, the British hermaphrodite, she likes to go off on her own and just go and have sex with herself. So, it's not easy being a British male. So as you might have found out, actually I love worms. But I don't get as much time to work with worms as I like to. That's the problem. The reason is because I've always got people asking me questions. I'm trying to do some research, someone's asking me a question. Some of my research group might say to me, should I lay my eggs today or tomorrow? Or, the Wellcome Trust asked me to go down to London last week, and they wanted to know if we could use the worm to understand the complexities of the human gut. And I said, well, I'm afraid not really, it's quite difficult, but we're working on it. Actually, in the worm, I like to say this, in the UK, I think I'm getting a bit of a reputation in the UK worm field, I'm making a sort of a name for myself. The other day, Jeremy Corbyn called me up when he was trying to sort out his shadow cabinet. He said, can you be the shadow spokesperson for worms? I said, well, why would you need that? I said, well, what if a question about nematode research comes up in the House of Commons? How are we going to answer that? So I said, well, Jeremy, I've got a better idea. I think I would like to reinvigorate industry in the northeast of England. I have this plan. We make a protein from the worms. We meant to get the worms to make a protein that can be used to treat asthma and allergy and rheumatoid arthritis. This bit's actually true. And so... It is. And, well, at the moment we're doing the lab, but what if we could grow it in big vats, big, large vats, maybe all across the region. We could just grow loads of them, and then, we could train up a generation of worm workers. And just really get the industry going, making this stuff. You could grow worms everywhere. And then maybe, if you sort of like start daydreaming, and then, maybe in a couple of 100 years' time, someone might be driving through County Durham. And, or they might be on a spaceship or something in that time. Or maybe a bicycle, because the oil will run out by then. But they'll be going through this village and they'll seeing bits of worm picking equipment and sort of old vats. And then they'll look up and there's a big brass serpentine-like statue over the green. And I'll turn to some of the locals and say, what's going on here? And say, well, this used to be an old worm village. Anyway, hopefully I've inspired you into a new industrial revolution of worms. And if you really are inspired, please follow me on Twitter.